We often think we know the villains of the Mahabharata. We blame Duryodhana for his greed. We blame Shakuni for his cunning. We blame Karna for his jealousy. And when we think of the most tragic moment in the entire war, the brutal, unfair killing of the young boy Abhimanyu, we have a specific list of murderers in our heads. We blame Dronakarya for creating the Chakravyuha. We blame Karna for breaking the rules and stabbing him from behind. We blame Jayadratha for blocking the gate. But what if I told you that the person truly responsible for Abhimanyu's death was not a Kaurava? What if I told you that the Pandavas were not stopped by a human king, but by the Supreme Lord of the universe himself? What if I told you that the day Abhimanyu died was the day Lord Shiva fought against the Pandavas and won? This is one of the most uncomfortable and hidden truths of the Mahabharata. We like to think that God was always on the side of the Pandavas because they were good. We see Krishna driving Arjuna's chariot and assume that the divine was exclusively protecting them. But we forget that Shiva is Mahadeva. He is the god of the Kauravas too. He is the god of the demons too. And on the 13th day of the war, he stood as an invisible wall between a father and his son, sealing the fate of the greatest young warrior who ever lived. To understand this cosmic tragedy, we have to look away from the Chakravyuha for a moment. We have to look at the gate. The plan was perfect, or so the Pandavas thought. Arjuna had been lured away to the south by the Samsaptakas, suicide squads who had sworn to die or keep Arjuna busy. With Arjuna gone, Dronakarya launched the Chakravyuha, the spinning wheel formation that ground armies into dust. There was only one person left in the Pandava camp who knew how to crack it open, the 16-year-old Abhimanyu. But there was a catch. He knew how to get in, but he didn't know how to get out. Yudhishthira, the eldest Pandava, came up with a strategy. "You lead us in," he told the boy. "Break the first layer. We, Bhima, Nakula, Sahadeva, and I will follow right behind you. We will smash the formation open before it can close. You will not be alone." It was a solid plan. Abhimanyu charged. He moved like lightning. He smashed through the first layer of Kaurava soldiers like a knife through butter. The formation cracked open. Abhimanyu rode inside, and then the Pandavas charged to follow him. Bhima roared, swinging his mace. Yudhishthira threw his spear. They were 4 of the mightiest warriors in history. Nothing should have been able to stop them. But something did. Or rather, someone did. Standing at the breach was Jayadratha, the king of Sindhu, the husband of Duryodhana's sister. Now let's be honest. In the ranking of warriors, Jayadratha was a nobody compared to Bhima. Bhima had the strength of 10,000 elephants. He had wrestled Jarasandha. He had killed demons like Hidimba and Bakasura. Jayadratha should have been a fly on Bhima's windshield. Bhima should have swatted him aside and marched in to save his nephew. But when Bhima swung his mace at Jayadratha that day, something terrified happened. The mace bounced off. Yudhishthira fired his celestial weapons. They dissolved before they touched Jayadratha's armor. Nakula and Sahadeva, the master swordsmen, struck with all their speed. Jayadratha didn't even flinch. He blocked every blow. He stood there, glowing with a strange, terrifying gray light. He wasn't just fighting them. He was toying with them. He held back all 4 Pandava brothers single-handedly. The formation closed, the trap shut tight. Abhimanyu was locked inside, alone, and his uncles were locked outside, helpless. Bhima screamed in rage. He couldn't understand it. How? How was this mediocre king suddenly invincible? How was he overpowering the strength of the wind god's son? Bhima looked closely at Jayadratha's eyes. And that's when he saw it. Jayadratha wasn't fighting with his own strength. He was vibrating with the energy of something ancient, something cold, something absolute. He was vibrating with the energy of Lord Shiva. To understand why Shiva was stopping the Pandavas, we have to travel back in time to the forest during the Pandavas' exile. Years ago, Jayadratha had made a mistake. He had tried to kidnap Draupadi while the Pandavas were away hunting. It was a cowardly act. Bhima and Arjuna caught him. They beat him within an inch of his life. Bhima wanted to crush his skull, but Yudhishthira, ever the merciful one, said, Don't kill him, he is our cousin by marriage, just humiliate him. So they shaved his head in 5 ridiculous patches, leaving him looking like a clown, and set him free. Jayadratha walked away, burning with shame. The humiliation was worse than death. He didn't go home. He went to the mountains. He went to Gangotri, where the holy river flows from the ice, and he began a penance that would shake the heavens. He didn't eat. He didn't sleep. He prayed to Lord Shiva. His prayer was singular. It was focused. It was dark. I want revenge. I want to defeat the Pandavas. Shiva is known as Ashutosh, the one who is easily pleased. But Shiva is also fair. He grants boons based on the intensity of the sacrifice, not the morality of the request. If you pay the price in pain, Shiva gives you the product. After months of severe austerity, Lord Shiva appeared before Jayadratha. He asked, "What do you want?" Jayadratha said, "I want the power to defeat all 5 Pandavas in battle." Shiva smiled, but it was a sad smile. He shook his head. "That is impossible. Arjuna is Nara, the ancient sage. He is protected by Narayana, Lord Krishna. Even I cannot grant you the power to defeat Arjuna, for he and Krishna are one, and they are invincible." Jayadratha's face fell, but Shiva continued. "However," the great lord said, "I can give you this. For 1 day, and 1 day only, you will possess my energy. On that day, you will be able to stop the other 4. Bhima, Yudhishthira, Nakula, Sahadeva. No matter how hard they fight, they will not pass you. You will check them." Jayadratha accepted. He took the boon and waited. He waited for years. He saved that 1 day like a miser saves his last gold coin, and he spent it on the 13th day of the Kurukshetra war. This is the tragedy of that moment. When Bhima struck Jayadratha, he wasn't striking a man. He was striking the boon of Mahadeva. The universe was enforcing a contract. The laws of physics and karma were bending to fulfill the promise Shiva had made. Inside the Chakravyuha, Abhimanyu was fighting like a lion. He defeated Duryodhana, he defeated Karna, he defeated Drona. He was waiting for his uncles. He kept looking back at the entrance, thinking, Bhima uncle will be here any second. Father Yudhishthira will be here any second. But they never came. They were pushing against an invisible wall of divine will. As the sun began to set, the Kauravas realized the boy was alone. They broke the laws of war. 6 of them attacked him at once. They cut his bowstring. They killed his horses. They smashed his chariot. And finally the son of Dushasana smashed a mace onto Abhimanyu's head. The boy fell. Outside the gate, the barrier suddenly lifted. Jayadratha's energy faded. The boon was over. The check was cashed. The Pandavas rushed in, but it was too late. They found the broken body of the child who was the hope of their dynasty. Bhima collapsed in grief. But his grief was mixed with a terrifying realization. They hadn't just lost a battle against the Kauravas. They had lost a battle against destiny. This story teaches us a harsh but necessary truth about the nature of God in Hinduism. We often want God to be a superhero who saves the good guys and kills the bad guys. But Lord Shiva is not a superhero. He is Mahakala, great time. Time is neutral. Time kills everyone eventually. Shiva represents the cosmic law that honors sacrifice. Jayadratha performed the sacrifice, so he got the power. It didn't matter that he was evil. The universe does not play favorites. This moment was necessary. If Shiva hadn't stopped the Pandavas, they would have saved Abhimanyu. If Abhimanyu had lived, Arjuna would never have been consumed by the fire of revenge that was necessary to end the war the next day. Abhimanyu's death was the trigger for the end of the war. And Shiva, in his infinite wisdom, became the instrument of that trigger. He accepted the role of the villain for a day so that the larger wheel of Dharma could turn. The next day, the 14th day, Arjuna would learn what happened. He would learn that Jayadratha blocked the path, and he would take a vow that would terrify the 3 worlds. I will kill Jayadratha before the sun sets tomorrow, or I will burn myself alive. But that is a story for another time. What we must remember from the 13th day is this. In the great game of life, even God plays both sides. Sometimes the obstacles in your path that you cannot move, no matter how hard you try, are not there because you are weak. They are there because destiny is demanding a different path. Bhima couldn't move Jayadratha because Abhimanyu was meant to fall. Sometimes we are stopped so that we can learn to rise in a different way. So, the next time you feel like you are fighting a battle you cannot win, stop and ask yourself, is this an enemy I am supposed to defeat? Or is this a Jayadratha, a divine blockage telling me that my destiny lies elsewhere? If this hidden story of the Mahabharata opened your eyes to the complexity of our mythology, hit that like button. It helps us bring these deep truths to more people. And I have a question for you. Do you think it was fair for Lord Shiva to grant that boon to a man like Jayadratha? Or does God have to remain neutral to maintain the balance of the universe? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe and turn on the bell, because in the next video, we are going to see the other side of Shiva. We are going to see how Shiva didn't just stop the Pandavas, but how he actually gave Ashwatthama the sword that destroyed them. Jai Shri Krishna.